Hi folks, welcome to a Boxing 101, the Brainy Boxer, here to dispel some of your problems. If you're a young boxer, you're new to boxing, you're going to have some confusion with some words. Bouts, fights, matches, and exhibitions. These are very confusing terms, but the presentation I put together is coming up. Should explain it clearly. And you really want to know, if you want to go to a title, sorry, I'm losing my voice. Title match, you don't want to spend thousands of dollars and go to an exhibition. You'll see why in the explainer. Please like and subscribe, if these videos will disappear on YouTube. So have an awesome boxing day. Please comment if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help. Thanks for joining us. I value each and every one of you.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're stepping straight into the ring to decode a sport that's honestly just as dramatic as it is technical. Have you ever been watching a massive pay-per-view event and wondered, wait, what exactly is on the line here? Well, our goal today is to completely demystify boxing terminology and the real stakes behind those punches. We're going to break down the entire boxing spectrum, moving all the way from the most intense official bouts right through to those wildly popular exhibition matches you see popping up everywhere. Okay, let's dive into this. Right off the bat, we've got to address a question that honestly confuses even regular viewers. Is there actually a difference between a match and a fight? You know, you hear announcers screaming about the fight of the century, but then you pull up a sports article and it's talking about a sanctioned boxing match. So, are they talking about two totally different things, or is this just sports jargon playing tricks on us? Let's break those two words down. All right, if we look at the term match, it comes with a whole lot of bureaucratic weight. This is your formal legal term. When regulatory bodies, athletic commissions, and the lawyers all sit down to draw up the contracts, they definitely do not call it a fight. They call it a match. It implies a highly structured event, governed by really strict legal frameworks and athletic regulations. Basically, it's the official paperwork side of the sport. But then we have the word fight. And man, this is where the culture of the sport really lives. Fight is the colloquial, traditional term. It's what the fans screaming up in the bleachers are saying, it's what the media hypes up on the broadcast, and most importantly, it's what the athletes themselves call it. It brings the emotion, the grit, the history. You really don't hear a boxer saying they're getting ready for the match of their life, right? No, they're getting ready for a fight. So here's the crucial point. In the modern sports world, despite that huge difference in tone, they actually mean the exact same thing. Whether the commission stamps it as a match or the fans are cheering it on as a fight, both words ultimately describe an official, sanctioned bout. It's a competition recognized by the governing bodies. The distinction between the two? It's pure semantics. Which brings us to Section 2, official bouts versus exhibitions. Now that we've cleared up that match versus fight debate, let's move to a much bigger, much more significant divide in the sport. We're going to contrast the intense, high-stakes world of official bouts against the completely unofficial, entertainment-driven world of exhibitions. Let's look at the ultimate prize and consequence, the record. An official bout is a pure quest for athletic glory. Every single win, loss, or draw counts permanently toward a fighter's professional record. It dictates their career trajectory, it dictates their legacy in the history books. On the flip side, exhibitions are totally unofficial showpieces. They do not affect a fighter's official record whatsoever. You could literally get knocked down 5 times at an exhibition, and your pristine, undefeated professional record remains completely untouched. The physical gear is where things get really interesting because, well, the stakes dictate the safety measures. In an official bout, fighters wear standard 8 to 10 ounce gloves, and there is absolutely no headgear. It's designed for maximum impact and competitive fairness. But in exhibitions, the focus shifts way over towards safety. Fighters often wear heavier gloves, typically 12 ounces or more. That extra padding softens the blows, simply because the goal isn't necessarily to knock the opponent out, it's to put on a great show without causing permanent damage. And that brings us right into the rulebook. Official bouts require strict adherence to athletic commission rules. Every second, every single movement is governed by a rigid framework that ensures a fair athletic contest. Exhibitions, however, operate with highly modified and super flexible rules. The promoters and the fighters can essentially just agree to tweak the guidelines to suit the specific event. It's much more fluid, much more customizable, depending on who exactly is stepping through those ropes. And this brilliantly illustrates how that operational divide dictates literally everything about the event. In official bouts, you've got official ringside judges, a guaranteed declared winner, unless there's a rare draw, of course, and standard 3-minute rounds, or 2 minutes for women. The purpose? Pure athletic competition and title contention. Now compare that to the exhibition side. A lot of times there's no official scoring at all, no judges, sometimes no winner is even declared at the end. The rounds are frequently shortened, maybe down to just 2 minutes. And why? Because the purpose is vastly different. Exhibitions are designed for entertainment, raising money for charity, or, giving retired legends a chance to earn some retirement money without taking on the brutal, career-ending risks of a real title fight. Moving on to Section 3, what always stays the same. So we've spent all this time tearing these two formats apart, showing you the massive differences in stakes, rules, and records. But to truly understand the sport, we need to bring the narrative back together. Because despite these huge differences in purpose and regulation, the core DNA of the sport remains absolutely identical. Whether it's a heavyweight world championship or a fun charity showcase, the basic mechanics are unchanging. Fighters still use the exact same punches, the same intricate footwork, and the same defensive guards. And the environment? It's always that same standard roped boxing ring, governed by a referee inside the ropes, making sure things stay under control. The canvas and the skills, they really are the universal language of boxing. And then, of course, there are the universal safety rules. No low blows, no hitting behind the head, and absolutely no biting. So yeah, whether you are fighting for an undisputed world title or you're just stepping into the ring for a fun, unofficial charity show to raise a few bucks, biting your opponent is universally, strictly banned. Good to know the standards remain high across the board, right? As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to apply to your own viewing. Next time you turn on the TV and that bell rings, ask yourself, are you watching for athletic glory, where every single punch alters a legacy and the rules are absolute? Or are you watching for pure entertainment, where the stakes are off the books and the spectacle itself is the main event? Understanding that difference completely changes how you experience the sport. Thanks for learning with me today, and keep asking the right questions.